Here are the 3 best side hustle ideas that would be worth your time to pursue, even as a total beginner. Okay, so if you're anything like me, you've been wondering what's a good side hustle idea that can actually help generate some income. Because those bills aren't going to pay themselves, right? So I've been doing some investigating myself. And the good news is that I've narrowed down this list for you already. So here's what I found to be the 3 best side hustle ideas in 2021 that you should really start today. But right after this video. Let's talk about the first one. Do you have a skill to teach? Perhaps you developed some skill over the years and you know how to do something really well. I'm not saying that you have to be world-renowned, but have some kind of experience in it to get a good result or a good outcome. Quickly come up with a list of a few skills or something that you're really good at. And if you do have that, then teaching a class on Skillshare, I think that seems like a really good side hustle to get started. But then there's that common misconception when it comes to teaching, and that you have to be an expert. I actually find it better sometimes when somebody's probably just a few steps ahead. Let's say, for instance, you've recently gotten into wedding photography and was able to book your first few weddings, taking some lessons and improving the experience with each client from beginning to ending. You don't need to be an expert in wedding photography, shooting over 1,000 weddings in order to teach somebody how to get started with wedding photography and get paid. You follow? Maybe I should teach that. But can you make money with it? What's actually possible according to Skillshare is that on average, full-time teachers make $200 in the first month, with top teachers earning upwards of $3,000. Also, according to Skillshare, top earning teachers make over $100,000 each year. What? Chances are you're almost guaranteed to have a large enough audience who wants to learn whatever it is that you have to teach, like how to fix your car, to how to cook an omelette. Yeah. Or photography. How to be productive. You can even learn how to do the next side hustle on this list, which we didn't talk about as yet, but we will soon. Okay, it's blogging, but we'll get to that in just a bit. First, let's talk about if teaching a class on Skillshare is a good option. Now, with most side hustles, it usually costs some money to start. So how much does Skillshare cost? It doesn't cost anything to publish a class. No money. However, it would take some time because it's videos of you teaching a subject. And if you wanted to have a successful class, of course you'll have to plan out the content, figure out everything that needs to be in there, script it in such a way that it's entertaining and engaging. Of course, the filming part of it, shooting, editing, and then uploading it to Skillshare. Oh, and Skillshare teachers can set their own rates. And they basically get paid every time somebody takes their class. So let's say you publish your class and get some students and actually get paid. You can use the earnings from that to reinvest into another side hustle that costs some money to start. Overall, it sounds like a good option. And if you do want to pursue it, the best place to start is actually on Skillshare. It's an excellent class there with really good ratings for beginners learning how to teach an amazing Skillshare class, which is exactly what we're just talking about. Feel free to check that out using my affiliate link in the description below. It gives you a big discount if you do decide to check out Skillshare. Do you have a hobby or something that you're really interested in? Something that you're passionate about? Or it could even be a skill that we spoke about in the previous side hustle. If this is the case and sounds anything like you, then starting a blog may be a really good option. A blog is a type of website that's centered around a topic or topics that publishes content. There's a ridiculous amount of blogs online on every topic imaginable, from food blogs, to travel blogs, to health and fitness, even DIY craft blogs. But of course, the content and the style of a blog really depends on your goal. Let's say it's a personal blog where you're just sharing your story, maybe more informal. Or it can take the style of a niche site centered around a very specific topic, which of course serves a very particular audience. What's becoming even more popular right now are blogs that are run by businesses, where they aim to attract new customers with their blog posts, their blog content. For example, there's a version of this we do on punch5media.com, which is a digital agency that's run by my buddy Gian and I. We offer digital marketing services. So what we've been doing is creating blog posts where we position ourselves as experts in the industry, with a call to action for someone to book us for consultation. And of course, if it's a good fit, then you become our client. Well, not you. Well, only if you want to. You can even take this approach. If your skill is a service that you really want to offer, creating blog posts can position you as the expert in your industry, as well as over time or ranking your content. So that when somebody searches for whatever it is that you do, like let's say you're a burger photographer, you just take pictures of burgers. You show up on the first page of Google. Oh, that looks good. I know. Could you make money with it? Let's see, according to Glassdoor reports, the average blogger salary is over $32,800 per year. According to Financial Samurai, it's not unrealistic to make between 1 cent to 10 cents per page view in many blog niches. So let's say you get 1,000 page views in a month. You can make between $10 to $100 per month. But if you can get to like 100,000 page views in just 1 month, well, you can probably make significantly more than that. First, let's look at laying down the foundation. You need to decide what your blog is going to be about, because it makes way more sense to focus on one thing rather than a bunch of different stuff. The next thing is setting up your blog, which is fairly straightforward. The first thing is that your blog needs to be hosted somewhere on the internet. You pay for a service online to host your blog, and you'll have to figure out what your domain name would be, which is basically www.something.com. Now, it's simpler than it sounds. I'll tell you how you can quickly get that started shortly, but that's what it takes to get started. What about generating an income from it? I've narrowed it down to some of the simplest things to get started, as well as some of the more profitable ones in the beginning, at least. The first one here is selling your services, just like the one I spoke about in the digital marketing agency example, whereby a company would hire us to help them to get more customers, ultimately to promote a specific product or services, or just to grow their social media accounts, things like that. So in this case, it's simply a matter of figuring out what you can offer and making sure that there's a demand for it. The next thing you could do is sell your own product. Maybe you build a brand and it's around music entertainment, and you have some t-shirts that you're selling here. There's a simple option that I haven't personally tried, but I've seen people do it really well. It's called print on demand. You can also monetize with a digital product. There are photography blogs out there that like to talk about photography shoots, gears, business advice. Part of their process while they're getting projects done, while they're editing, is creating presets. And they can take those presets now and sell them to their audience, who are photographers. So people that follow the blog and like the stuff that they do can use those presets now to get a similar look and feel like the work that they've seen and liked. You know those cameras, those big expensive cameras that photographers carry? If you had a photography blog showing all those really cool shots that you took with that expensive camera body, at the end of the blog post, you could let your readers know that this is the exact camera that you use to take those shots. Click this link to check it out. And if somebody actually buys that camera or lens, then you get a commission, a small percentage of that sale. And if you get enough views and grow your blog, then you can qualify for the Google AdSense program, where you can showcase some ads across your blog post. And whenever somebody clicks on one of those ads, you get some money. But it's really about growing an audience, and as a result of providing value through your blog, you introduce the possibilities of being able to monetize it. But you obviously want to know how much it costs, because I did say it costs some money, but not much. Depending on the company and hosting plan, it could be as little as $2.95 per month, and it definitely shouldn't be more than $10 per month. You don't need anything more than that when you're getting started. How much time does it take? Well, that depends. If you have some time to spare but less money, then you can learn how to do it yourself, and I'll point to some of those resources in the description. Or maybe it's the opposite of that. You have no time, but you have some money to spare, some hard-earned money. What you can do to make up for that lost time is that you can hire people to get it started for you faster. Now, I hope I didn't make it sound too complex, did I? Because it's simpler than it really sounds. There are organized and highly rated courses on Skillshare. Remember Skillshare? It was the first side hustle that we just mentioned. Just like this one on how to start a blog, blogging for beginners. You can check it out with that Skillshare link in the description below. And if you do decide on starting a blog, you can also use my affiliate link to get a further discount if you're interested in that. To be clear, that's getting your hosting and domain name set up with bluehost.com, which is the hosting provider that I highly recommend. With whatever it is that you do to generate a full-time income, you must have developed some kind of skill from that, or maybe from a previous side hustle. If so, then you could offer a service in exchange for money, with no further commitment, not having to be by a desk in an office every day. Well, after your full-time job, that is. Well, at least you'll be by your desk, because we're talking about freelancing online in this side hustle idea. But can you make money with it? Well, according to 2020 freelancer research data, freelancers in the United States earn an average hourly rate of $20, and other skill services earned a higher rate. So you clearly can make some money, and there is a demand with it, which would have increased this year so far. But is it simple to get started on generating an income with it? Well, I think it is. I've been a freelancer for several years, and it has been a good way to supplement my income. Being a freelancer, I found, has a lot of benefits. Pretty much you make your own rules. You don't have to concern yourself on trivial office politics. Unless you like that, of course. However, in most cases, you'll be having to move from project to project in order to get hired and then get paid. So you are in control here of how much or how little you work and get paid. Well, the good news is that there are places you can go to look for great freelance opportunities, for which are available worldwide. Some of the top ones are Upwork, Freelancer, Guru, People Per Hour, Fiverr. And how you charge varies a lot from site to site. You can go from managing a complex IT project and charging by the hour on Upwork to getting hired to create YouTube thumbnails for a fixed fee on Fiverr. You never know, maybe I can hire you as a freelancer to help me out with that. Of course, if your price is right. But how much does it cost to get started freelancing? Well, nothing really. Well, that is if you already developed that skill, something that you're already knowledgeable about. And you already have the tools or the physical tools or online tools, software. So it doesn't really cost anything unless you're using some kind of monthly paid tools to make your job easier. Which still doesn't even count, because if you're spending some money on some online tools to help you get something done faster, then you get back time. Now, can you quickly make money? Well, that depends on several factors. Essentially based on the type of job you can get paid per hour or per project, which could be a short or a long project. You could also get paid as fast as getting a task completed. So if you did decide to get started, based on your skill set, have a look at those freelance sites that I just mentioned and see what's in demand, what's popular, and focus on offering just one service. A really simple site to get started on is Fiverr. So if you do want to try out this side hustle, and the best way to get started is actually by having a gig. A gig, yeah, that's what they call it there. Creating a gig that attracts attention. And which is especially true if you're a beginner. What you can do is check out in the description next to Fiverr. You can hire somebody for as little as $5 who will set up an awesome gig or profile, which should help immensely in getting your first sale. Now, even though there are only 3 side hustle ideas that we spoke about, it was a lot of info, I know. Just to quickly recap, we spoke about teaching a class on Skillshare, being the first side hustle idea, which doesn't cost anything to start, but it takes some time to put it together. Then it could make more sales over time with you not being tied, like working hourly on it. Then we spoke about starting a blog, which costs a little bit to get started and some time, but you could speed up on how long it takes if you can pay somebody to get the initial setup done. Then it's to focus on creating the content which could eventually make you more money over time through various income streams. And lastly, we spoke about freelancing online, which costs nothing, but it may take up more time to get started, and how much you make is tied to how much you work. But it's really a good option if you have the extra time to spare, or could make the time, because it really is the fastest option, the fastest way to make some money now. So that's it for the video. I hope it was really useful for you in choosing your next side hustle idea. Now, before I go, I just want to suggest that you pick one. Just get started with one. And let me know in the comments below which one you'll be considering. And I'll see you in the next video.